Hi, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm taking a look at Transformers Generations Selects Overbite, also known as Jawbreaker. He is the fifth of the Transformers Generations Selects Seacons we're looking at, and as of this recording, we just got word that we're getting 5 of the Seacons, all of them except Nautilator here, as a box set from Takara-Tomy as King Posiedon, which I'm looking forward to. But focusing on Overbite here, he is a remold of Piranhacon Rippersnapper, and I think they did a really good job with the remolding. Like, obviously, they're both like shark monsters, so they didn't have to redo a lot. I think the legs might have gotten tweaking, and then his head is the big part. Instead of having kind of that bent shark head, now that, you know, his legs, his whole body's long, we've got a more traditional shark head here. And it's, again, like all of these figures, picked out gloriously in paint. We've got lovely dark seafoam green type color, yellow in the eyes, silver picked out on the teeth, a pink. So again, he's another one that purple is unique to his color scheme, but he shares, you know, this deep pink with the magenta pink with 2 of the characters. He's got the green that all the characters except for 2 have. So as being someone who has never had the Seacons before, it's just a really cool bit of color design choice that I didn't really notice until I had them all in hand to keep things organized but keep every character unique. And yeah, like, he's just a mean looking land shark monster man. I really dig his big feet. He's a little less posable than Rippersnapper is just because the legs are a little short. But other than that, I mean, we've got articulation in the mouth here. We've got 360 in his shoulders, bicep swivel due to that ball joint, wrist swivel, which is nice for his little claw hands. The tail can kind of wag a little bit. You break up the mold, but you can get some motion out of this. 360 on the hips. And then an actual bit of ankle joint, which I wasn't really expecting. The hips, you know, you can pose them a couple different ways. But yeah, he looks great as a shark. And again, he's got, you know, the accessories. He's got another piece of Piranhacon's sword. He shares this piece. Scalor has the same piece of that. He's got his gun, and then he's got his combiner hand slash Power the Primes, you know, chest pack mode. But yeah, he's looking really good, and his transformation is essentially the same as Rippersnapper here. Again, we have the standard Combiner Wars accordion flip on the legs. First, we'll split apart the shark head from the robot body, get that out of the way so we can take the legs out and slide these little knee pieces out away from the rest of his body. There we go. And again, it accordions out, and we have tabs on the back of his knees that correspond to slots inside the legs here, and that can just tab together nicely. Now we can split these legs apart, and we have half a shark tail fin each. Just like on Rippersnapper, this collapses and rotates inwards to kind of close up this empty space we have on his leg. That fits nicely. I think it should. There we go. Get it on both sides. So I do like that bit of transformation. I liked it when it existed on Rippersnapper. His legs, there is a tab here, and it can tab into where the joint is on his, I guess, his ankle, really. That can close up. If you have the leg in this position, obviously he can't stand, so his legs kind of have to extend out. But it does give him a really good standing base. I kind of wish that out of all the figures, I think he could have used an ankle joint the most, just because he would have had a really good feet to stand on. Now we can come up. We can rotate his chest 360. You just have to swivel around his hands, just like Rippersnapper. Flip up his little Decepticon symbol, rotate his head around, and the shark backpack can come down. There are tabs on the backpack right here that go in as slots back here, just like on Rippersnapper, to get things closed up. And actually, I don't know that I love this position, like getting it in those tabs. It might just be better to kind of collapse it this way. There we go. And then, come on. Get it there. So, you know, you kind of got his shark head hanging out on the back, which is okay. Could it have collapsed a little neater? Probably. But again, let's move this camera up just a bit. We have a lovely Seacon head sculpt here again, gold plate on the mouth, really nice red eyes. No additional colors. I mean, he's already kind of eclectic in his color scheme. We have bits of gold in his shoulders. We still have the purple, the green, and the pink. I guess the addition might be just because the angle he's at, he's got a little silver on his feet and red in his knee vents. But other than that, I mean, he looks good. I kind of wish, compared to the others, I feel like maybe some additional paint details could be picked out across his little waist. That kind of seems all plain. It's like just one purple mush. There's some nice detail here, but without paint picking out, it's a little hard to make out. Other than that, I mean, he's got, again, standard Combiner Wars articulation. This has been the same since the Terracons leveraged the Combiner Wars articulation in Power of the Primes. We've got shoulders, we've got elbows, we've got wrists on this guy. We've got a waist swivel, we can go out this far, 90 degrees, and instead of having ankles, he's got the sculpted A stance. We'll drop this back down. He's got a sculpted A stance here. So yeah, I mean, he's, you know, a pretty standard Combiner Wars robot man. I think, to me, what sets him apart is just he's got a really cool alt mode, and he has, in my mind, one of the more visually engaging color schemes. Him and I'd say Sea-Wing are the two that, color scheme-wise, just interest me the most. But yeah, I think he's, you know, again, if you're measuring these as individual figures, you don't really, for whatever reason, if that's what you want, since you could buy them individually, you don't have to, yeah, we can load them all up with all this stuff. You don't have to worry about the limb mode or the weapon mode, which will show off in the combined form. But in terms of where he sits among the different deluxe limb bots, if you were looking for just a cool sea monster sculpt, I think he's kind of at the same level as Nautilator and Sea-Wing. Nautilator is still my personal favorite just because of the cool way he was remolded and his transformation. But Sea-Wing and Overbite here, I think, are easy second place guys. Scalar is still the weak link of the group, and I think that's true when we look at Tentakill eventually. But for a Seacon guy, you know, 35 bucks, I think, gets you one of these guys. I think most people want to pick up the whole set, but if for some reason you only wanted one, I think this is not a bad way to go, especially if you like his color scheme, which I think is my favorite of the group. All right, that's it for Overbite. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, subs, likes, and all that stuff is appreciated. And we got one more to go, and then we'll be doing the combine mode. Thanks, everyone. See ya.